shows my middle school students which statement is supported by the information in the graph. So all these are talking about parts of the whole group. So first thing we need to do is we need to figure out how many people did they ask. We have 9, 5, no 4, sorry. 3 picked orange, 9, 7, 8, 4, and 6. And so we add up all those people. 2, 25, 32, 40. This actually gives us 50 people. Which makes this a little bit easier now. Because if we think it's x over 50. And then we want to make that into a percent, right? This is just going to be 2 times as much as that. 50 times 2 is 100. So I can turn all these into percents just by multiplying by 2. Like 18% of the people liked red. 8 for yellow. 6 here. 18. 14. 16. 8. And 12. And if you want, you can add all those up and it gives you 100%. And then these questions become a little bit, or the answer choices are a little bit simpler to look at. So if it says fewer than 30% shows red, yellow, or orange. So red, yellow, and orange, that's these top 3 here. Okay. So 18 plus 8 is 26, plus 6 more is 32% total, which is not fewer than 30, so this is correct. Okay. Letter B says more than 1/10. So 1/10 is 10%. So did more than 10% choose pink? Here's pink at 8%. So no, 8% is not more than 10%. Answer choice C. Exactly 18% chose blue as their favorite color. So here we go, we look at blue. Blue is at 18%. If I had thought more about this, I could have matched these colors up better, but whatever. And that looks pretty correct. And the last one, just to be thorough, exactly 2 fifths, and 2 fifths is 40%. Shows green, black, or purple, which is the remaining 3 numbers here. So that's 30% plus 12, that's 42%. That is not correct. So the questions like this just takes a little bit of time. Not too much difficult math. Alright, 16. Table shows distance cheetah can travel feet per second based on information which equation we use model between x and y. Oh. So if you can write equation, that means there must be a pattern. So we just look for the pattern. So we're looking at 940. How do we go from 470 to 940? So let's just subtract them. And that'll give us 407. And then this is plus 5 over here. So what this means is that our rate of change, which is change in y divided by change in x, is going to be 470 over 5, which we can divide out. That's 9, 94. Yeah, that's right, 94. So 94 is what's being multiplied by our time, which means it's going 94 feet per second, which looks like answer J. So if you're looking to write an equation, just find the change in y, find the change in x. Most of the time in 7th grade, if you can get that number, you can get the answer. Sometimes you have to add or subtract to it, but in this case we don't. That's it. All we need was rate of change, and then we're done. Alright, 17. 8 congruent sections means they're all the same. Same size, same chance of getting any of the 8 numbers. Finish done 120 times. What's a reasonable prediction for the number of times to land on an even number? So evens are 2, 4, 6, 8, and so on and so on. let's figure out which of these are even. So 8, 16, 2. So that is 3 out of the 8 sections are even, right? Even over total. And we want to expand that if we spun it 120 times. So 120 will be the total number of spins put on the bottom. Number of times to land on even is our part, that's x. And then we just do some work. So 120 times 3, 360. We divide that by the number we didn't just multiply. 8. That'll go in 4 times, 32. 8 goes into 40 5 times. So you would expect it to land on an even number 45 out of 120 times. Okay. Alright, 18. What is the solution set for the inequality? So if it gives you a picture like this, all you have to do, the only extra step is we just have to convert the picture to math. So it tells us each of these bars is an x, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, so this is 4x. Okay. And then each of these squares is a positive, and there are 12 of them, so say positive 12 is less than or equal to, and then each of these shaded in boxes is a negative 1, and there's 8 of them, so that's negative 8. There's our inequality, and then we just have to solve. So how do we get x by itself? We always get rid of the plus or minus first, so in this case, to get rid of plus 12, we do minus 12 to both sides. 4x, this will cancel out, less than or equal to 2 negatives, same sign, you add them together, so that's 20, and keep that sign. And then to get rid of times 4, we divide by 4. And we're not dividing by a negative number, so this sign is going to stay the same throughout. 20 divided by 4 is 5, a negative divided by a positive is negative. So x is less than or equal to negative 5. Nothing to it. Alright. Number 19. I measured this a couple days ago. I hope I did it correctly. Or 8 was this diameter, 7 was the height. So you have to use the ruler on the side of your formula chart to do this. Pretty fun, I guess. What's closest to the area of the figure in square centimeters? So we have a semicircle plus a triangle. We're going to find the area of both those shapes and then add them together. So a circle, formula is pi r squared. Excuse me. We have 3.14 times. Now it's not 8 because 8 is a diameter, so our radius would just be 4 second power. Then we just do math, so 3.14 times 4 squared is 16, 4 times 4. And then 16 times 3.14 we'll have to work out. 24, 8, 15, 0. 50.24. And then because it's semicircle, we actually need half of that, right? Semicircle, half. So half of 50.24, or we divide it by 2. 2 goes into 50 25 times. I know, I'm skipping a little bit here, but that's okay. Let's see. 2 goes into 24 12 times. We have 25, 12. We're going to hold on to this number because we're going to need it later. Then we're going to find the area of this triangle. There's a triangle on the bottom of our cone. Form of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. That's just going to be 1/2 of 8 times 7. And notice we could have measured these lengths, but that's not the base and height because base and height have to meet at this right angle here. So I don't actually care what those two lengths are. Let's do 1/2 of 8 is 4 times 7 is 28, and that is our triangle. So now all we have to do is just add our two answers together. 28.12, no, not 28, I'm sorry, 25.12 plus 28 . And I guess we didn't even need the decimals here. We get 53.12, and this is centimeters squared. Answer D. Okay, that's all. Alright, number 20. This one's a little bit of a pain. That's okay. We can still do it. So in Oscar's monthly budget, each category is assigned a certain percentage of his monthly income. His monthly income is $2,250. Okay. Which statement is not supported by the information in the table? So we're just going to have to write... I don't think there's an easy way to do this. So we're going to have to write 4 proportions. So Oscar put $360 of his monthly savings, monthly income into savings. Okay. We're checking answer F. 360 over 250. Does that equal, let's see, what did he say? Does he put 16% out of 100? So is the statement true? I don't know. Let's find out. So we have an extra 0 on both these. We can simplify that a little bit. And then we just cross multiply. So 36 times 100 is 3,100. And we want to know, is that the same as 225 times 16? See, 15. 0, 5, 2, 0, 0, 6. Did I mess this up? Hold on. 15 says third. Oh no. Yeah, 3,600. Okay. So they both came out to 3,600, so which means this statement is true. We want the one that's not true. Too bad. We gotta try again. Alright. Next one, less than $900 a month. Oscar's monthly income is for house payments and life insurance. This one not quite as easy to check because it says less than, so it's not going to be exact. So instead of putting in the number that we know, let's leave it as X. Let's figure out how much did he actually put in for his house payment and life insurance. We're going to say X over 2250 equals, and then let's put these two percentages together. So house payment is 35%, and life insurance is 3%. So 35 and 3 makes 38. Then out of 100. And then we can solve that. So, let's see, 38 times 2250. Oh boy. I think this is one of the most work-intensive problems in this section. Let's see, that's 20. 15, right? 0, 0, 15, 7, 6. Let me double check my math. I don't want to do all this work only to realize I was rushing. Multiplied wrong. Okay. 0, 0, 5. Alright, so 8,000 or 85,500. If we divide this by 100, we just move the decimal 2 places back. So that's going to be 855. So it's 855 less than 900 Yes, it is, which means this is not correct. Alright. H, Oscar budget's $485. This is like letter F, where that's an exact number. So we can say for this one, 485 over 2250 equals, and it says, let's pick a different telephone, utilities, and emergencies. Telephone, 5, utilities is 6, and emergencies is 11. That is 22% over 100. Okay. This time we get to multiply 22 times 2250, which isn't too bad. If you think about it, it's just everything times 2. So that's 0, 10, 5, 4. And then we just do it again. So it's just going to be 4,500 a second time. So that's 0, 0, 5, 9, 4. Right? Man. Stuff. And then on the other side, 485 times 100. We just move that decimal over 2 places. That's just 48,500. So if I did my math right here, these two are not equal. So I'm going to pick this answer. And since we did all this work, I'm going to skip answer J because I think that we did this one correctly. Let me check my... It is, okay. That was rough. If you missed that one, that's understandable. If you missed this one, not acceptable. Pencil shaped like a triangular prism gives you the height and the volume. It wants to know what is the area of the base. Okay, so even though we're not solving for volume, we still need the formula for volume, which is still for a prism, area of the base times height, where big B is always area of the base. This one they just mix it up a little bit. So let's tell you that instead of solving for the volume is 216. And we don't know what the area of the base is, but we do know that the height is 12. And now it doesn't even matter that it's a triangle, because it's not asking for a part of the triangle, what's the entire area. So really it's saying what number times 12 is 216. This just becomes an equation we can solve. So to get b by itself, we divide both sides by 12. This will cancel out. Get b all by itself, and then we just need to know what is 216 divided by 12. Here, 90. Okay. And that's it. Our whole answer is just 18. And then when you bubble that in, here's your decimal place. The 18 had to be on the left-hand side. You didn't need anything on the right-hand side. All you needed was a 1 and an 8. Okay. Let's see. Oh, that was another question. Alright, Stephanie has 3 3/4 bags put in her garden. Each bag will cover 120 feet. How many square feet will she be able to cover if she uses all these bags? Okay, so this is just asking what is 3 3/4. Since that's each, that's multiplying by 125.3. And since we probably don't want to multiply mixed numbers, if we know 3/4 or 3/4 is 0.75, this is 3.75 times 125.3. And all the answers are kind of close together, so I don't want to round it off. We just have to multiply. Don't need to line up the decimals. Multiply. We just need to do all the work. So 15, 26, 12, 6. When we go to the second number, we bring down 1 0, right? 7 times 3, 21. 7 times 5 plus 2, 37. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 3 is 17. 7 times 1 plus 1 is 8. And then when we go to the third number, part we forget, we have to bring down 2 zeros, because we're multiplying by hundreds here. 300 times 3 is 900. And we just go from there, so that's 15, 7, 3. Hope I did all that right. We just add them together, so this is 5, 7, 18, carry the 1, 19, carry the 1 again, 16, 4, and then 1 decimal place on top, 2 in the bottom. Means we need 1, 2, 3 in the answer, and we get 469.875, which is correct. Just multiplication. Takes a little bit of time, but you got 4 hours. Oh, excuse. Alright. What is the value of x if this is a triangle? So you remember I'll spell it out, triangle has a total of 180 degrees. So anytime it gives you a problem like this, all we gotta do is we just take the 3 angles, add them all together, and we say that's equal to, not 10, but 180. Okay? And then we just have to solve our equation. So we can combine our numbers together. So 50 minus 10, 50 minus 10 is 40. Okay? And then we can combine our x's together. So 2x plus 3x is 5x. That still equals 180. So all I did there is I just added all the numbers together and added all the x's together. Now we start to get x by itself. This is a positive 40 here, so to get rid of a positive, we subtract. So minus 40 from both sides. This is 5x equals 140. And then if we divide by 5, this x and all we want to know what is the value of x, which is 28. Okay. And even if you didn't want to solve this equation, as long as it's multiple choice, you could have just tested this. You could have just gone through each answer choice, put it in for x, and then as long as you remember that a triangle has to add up to 180, eventually you'd get that answer. 25. Artist making a scale model of a statue. 2 inches is 1 foot on the actual. Which graph best represents this relationship? Okay. We're comparing inches, feet on all these. Okay. So, how can we do this? Let's see. If I'm looking at the graphs, the first number listed here is 4 inches. So I know I'm comparing inches to here. Our scale is 2 inches is 1 foot. I want to know how many feet is 4 inches, because that's the first number we're looking at. Just times 2, so this would be times 2 as well. So when I'm at 4 inches, I should be at 2 feet. So I'm looking for the point 4, 2. Now let's see what we got. So 4, 2 would be right here, here, and right there. And just looking at that, there's only one answer, right? Where it actually hits the line, which is answer C. That's all. We probably didn't even need to do that. We also could have said, since this is counting by 2 every square, this is 2 here. And then this point here, 2 inches for 1 foot, and that's our original scale. looking at the picture. Alright, circle shows Tremaine's time on the computer. Spent 30 hours. How many more hours did he use the computer to play games and do? Okay. So what we can do here, we could, let's go the easy way. We were comparing games to research. So if I don't even look at numbers, if I just look at percentages, what is the difference between those two? 25% minus 5% is 20%. We spend 20% more time playing games, and then I just need to convert that into hours. So I can say it's a proportion. Anytime we're doing percent, it's proportion. This is the amount of more time on games total, right? And we want to know that's x out of 30 total hours. So x over 30. And there's a proportion, so we just solved this. 20 times 30, or 30 times 20, 600. Divided by 100. Or we just move the decimal back 2 places, or cross off 2 extra zeros. 6 divided by 1 is 6. We spent 6 more hours. Right, the other way we could have done this, we could have set a proportion for each, figure out how many hours he spent on each of these things. Like, let's see, if 1% is, this would be 1.5 hours here, and 7.5 hours on games. And then we could have taken the difference between them, like 7.5 minus 1.5 is 6.0. So that involves, well, it's the same number of steps, but this step, or this process, had less decimals. So either way, either convert the percentages to hours at the beginning, or you do it at the end. Either way, if you got percents, make proportions. Let's do one more. Yeah, that'll leave 13 for tomorrow. Okay, what's the solution to this equation? This is just another equation problem which says decimals now, which, whatever, that's not too bad. We want to get x by itself, so we need to get rid of this. Oops, 1756. To get rid of a positive, we just subtract. Okay, so this will cancel out. 6 minus 6 is 0. Need to borrow. 11 minus 5 is 6. 9 minus 7 is 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. And then to get rid of times 5, we just divide by 5. So really we want to know what is 1260 divided by 5. 2.52. Look at that. There it is. Okay. Alright. 2/3 of the way done. Finish the rest tomorrow or later. At some point. Okay.